Back of the end zone. It is incomplete. And there's a chance for one more play. 2 seconds remain.
Nice job by Rich Cody. The safety was drawn to this side because of the rollout action of Hasselbeck, but he recognized the receiver coming back across the field and sprinted all the way back into coverage to make the play.
And I'll tell you what, he had Foreign Robinson one-on-one on the backside with Travis Fisher. If Matt Hasselbeck had seen it, he had a much better chance to get the touchdown there.
The Rams will clinch the NFC West with a victory. Last play of the game, barring a defensive penalty. Hasselbeck looking for Robinson. It is incomplete, and the Rams have won the NFC West.
And Rich Cody again, back-to-back plays to seal it.
Right now, with the Monday night game coming up, Philadelphia at Miami, the Rams are the #1 seed in the NFC in what was a hard-fought game between the Seahawks and Rams. Mike Martz and his club, they've won 13 straight at home. Let's go down to Pam Oliver standing by with Marshall Falk.
I sure am, Joe. Marshall, don't seem to be too...
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And welcome the viewers who saw the St. Louis Rams clinch the NFC West title by outlasting the Seattle Seahawks 27-22. This is Dick Stockton along with Darryl Johnston and the Goose, Tony Siragusa, on the sideline. First possession of the game, the Cowboys in Redskin territory with a first down on the Washington 42. Quincy Carter stepping up and has the dimension of running, and he picks up about 6 yards on that first down play.
And that's what Quincy has to do in that situation. Bill Parcells has talked to him repeatedly through training camp during the course of the season about what he terms an impulse throw. When the play breaks down, instead of throwing the incomplete or tucking the ball and running with it, Quincy wants to make a play. He's thrown off his back foot on the move. He takes his eyes off the receiver and just throws to an area. It has cost them the last couple of weeks. So he's got to continue to do what he did right there. Bring that ball down, get some positive yards.
And don't make those impulse throws that result in interception. 2nd and 5. And Troy Hambrick with another big run for Hambrick. So Hambrick, who obviously likes running against the Redskins, as he did in the first meeting, gets 15 more before the free safety Matt Bowen brings him down.
A similar play to what we saw earlier in the game. Again, it's going to be LeVar Arrington coming from the right. They beat him. Jamar Martin right here, number 34, is starting to get some increased playing time. He has become the lead blocker on Jesse Armstead right there. Does a good job of creating the crease for Troy Hambrick, and then he runs through the arm tackle by the safety.
Larry Allen also did a great job of getting to the second level on the linebacker and keeping his feet underneath him also there.
And one thing, this offensive line is inspired starting out here from the 22. Handoff up the middle to Richie Anderson, coming in the game as the leading receiver for Bill Parcells' team. And he loves using that fullback, which is to the delight of my partner here, and he gets 5 yards.
Well, I think that Richie Anderson has really added a different dimension to this offense. It seems early in the season that every time a critical play needed to be made, they called Richie Anderson's number. But now with the emergence of Jamar Martin, number 34, the fullback, that allows Richie to become the third down back. I would like to see Richie Anderson running the ball behind Jamar Martin, because to me, he's got a little bit more wiggle than Eric Bickerstaff or Troy Hambrick.
Ball on the 18, 2nd down and 6. And here's Carter on the rollout, and he is brought down. Great hustle play by Jesse Armstead, and that will go as a sack and a loss of 3 yards. So a tremendous play by the veteran Armstead.
Quincy's got to learn. He's broken contain. He is outside the tackle pocket. Right now the play's breaking down. Don't make the impulse throw, but don't take the sack either. Throw the ball out of bounds beyond the line of scrimmage. The little things, the attention to detail, keeping ahead of the chains. Now they're backed up almost to 3rd and 10 again. You've got to be smart on the field during the course of the play.
And the Cowboys need 9 yards to keep possession. They're on the 21. And there's the screen to Anderson. Richie Anderson inside the 5 scores, and the Cowboys scoring on their first possession. A 21-yard run by Richie Anderson. His second score of the year on the ground, and the Cowboys stun the Redskins on the first drive.
Well, here's Richie Anderson. Watch. He's going to come up, fake the protection on LeVar Arrington, slip him to the inside, and then look at the lineman downfield getting the good block. A nice job of setting that block for Matt Lair right there. Richie Anderson is the guy that is adding that new dimension to this Cowboy offense.
So the screen pass to Anderson, 6-0, and Billy Cundiff on to kick the extra point. Cowboys with a 21-14 win over the Redskins on November the 2nd have taken a 7-0 lead, using it mostly on the ground. 21 yards to Anderson to score.
Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Friendly nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom.
And welcome to our nation's capital, a city and a country in celebration, and the Redskins playing the Cowboys today. First time they met, the Cowboy defense blitz. Patrick Ramsey knocked him out of the game, but now Tim Hasselbeck making his 3rd start for his career.
Yeah, the Cowboy defense really exposed the Washington Redskins protection, but today I think the big thing is going to be the running game. Rock Cartwright gets to start. Trunk Candidate and Liddell Betts both are down. I think, though, that may favor it. The running style that Rock Cartwright has may prove beneficial as the conditions start to deteriorate during the afternoon.
So we go and kickoff, retrieved by Patrick Johnson, and Johnson with a good return brings it across the 35-yard line as the Cowboys scoring a touchdown on their first possession for the first time in 35 games.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By K Jewelers. This holiday season, shop K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. By Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. And by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time.
You know, Darryl and Dick, you guys talked about Bill Parcells playing in conditions like this. The screen is such a great play, and they scored on that in the last drive because the offensive defensive linemen can't cut and turn back. Our defensive linemen have to get involved in that play, and it puts the linebackers and the secondary in a bad situation. Obviously, they just scored on that play.
All right, Tony, we'll see how the Redskins respond now as they send Lavernius Coles in motion. First down from the 38, and play action, and here's Hasselbeck. Completes the pass to the tight end, Zeron Clemister, and Clemister close to a first down on a nifty first play by the Redskins on offense. And right now, for a game break, let's check in Los Angeles with James Brown.
Hey, Dick, here's a conclusion for the Rams-Seahawks game. Down by 5. Seahawks going for broke on the last play. Hasselbeck took Corin Robinson incomplete, knocked down. Rams win the West. Seattle, 6 consecutive losses on the road. Back to Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, and the younger Hasselbeck now trying to bring the Redskins to victory against the Cowboys as you take a look at the scoring drive. And as we said, the first opening drive touchdown by Dallas in 35 games, capped with the screen pass from Quincy Carter to Richie Anderson. And for Anderson, it was his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. So it'll be 2nd down and about 8 now. As Darryl mentioned, Rock Cartwright, who can play fullback and tailback, getting the call, and here he is. Rock Cartwright, only 5'7", but has some power and speed, picking up 6 yards, and Darren Woodson forces the play from strong safety.
And he's continued to impress. Steve Spurrier, his playing time has increased all season long. Started off kind of returning kicks and doing some different things with the fullback position, along with some of the other running backs there in that mix. Brian Johnson spelling him at times, but now we're seeing him getting an opportunity, and he's had this a couple times during the season, and he has taken advantage of it and put him in a position this afternoon where I think it's going to pay dividends for this Washington offense.
3rd down and 2. Ball just in Cowboy territory. And Hasselbeck with the short drop. The ball is tipped and goes incomplete. So Garnerian McCants tip the ball, and 4th down coming up, and a punting situation for the Redskins.
That's one of the things that Steve Spurrier really likes about Tim Hasselbeck in this offense is the quick release. He gets that ball out of there very quickly, doesn't take a lot of sacks, knows full well that an incomplete pass is not always a bad play.
You can see by the wind the way the rain is almost going in a horizontal fashion. On the close-up, looking at Brian Barker, the kicker, Zuriel Smith going to let that bounce, and it will go deep into the end zone for a touchback. So good hang time for Barker, but the Cowboys, with a lead, get the ball back.
Leon, you sign a record for when you need it more.
Dallas Cowboys leading by a score of 7-0. Cowboys having lost 3 of their last 4 games. After a 7-2 start, and after they beat Carolina, we're 8-3. And that's when Bill Parcells says you can't call us losers anymore. They feel they need 2 wins. That would wrap up a playoff berth for Dallas. Carter going down the left sideline to Joey Galloway. And ball knocked away by Champ Bailey on the coverage.
Bill Parcells must feel that the conditions are good enough to stick with his original thought, which was to be aggressive at the quarterback position. Joey Galloway going up. Look at Champ Bailey just get that arm up there at the last second as Joey Galloway was about to secure that catch. But from that play, it seems to be that he feels confident enough in the conditions that he will continue that philosophy of being aggressive down the field.
Only caught 8 passes in the last 5 games as Galloway. It's been a long drought. Here's Troy Hambrick off to a big start today. Hambrick now with 4 carries and 32 yards. Matt Bowen making the stop with the 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
And Tony talked about the footing for the defensive lineman on the screen, but I think what we're going to see is what offensive line does the better job in their run blocking, which is going to determine the winner this afternoon. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys doing a good job. You mentioned Troy Hambrick and the great start that he's gotten off to. There are a lot of running lanes for the running backs of the Dallas Cowboys at this point.
3rd down and call it 2. And they keep it on the ground to Hambrick, and Hambrick close to the 1st down. He had to get to the 30. And it was LeVar Arrington and Reagan Upshaw, and he may be a little short. And he is. So 4th down coming up, and the Redskins hold on 3rd and short.
And that's going to be one of the areas today, short yardage and goal line, where those guys really need to be able to dig in. This turf is just going to, it's so saturated. The DC area, the snow last week, they had rain midweek. Practice Thursday, there was 2 feet of water on the Redskins facility, so it's going to be absolutely soaked, in addition to what has happened last night and early today.
Toby Goen will be kicking. Chad Morton had the flu toward the end of the week and did not practice, but he's returning right here, and the ball is going to bounce and be down by the Cowboys at the 36-yard line. Don't know whether Morton will play in the backfield, but he is on the field, at least in return. We'll be back.
The praise that Mazda NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mazda. There's a soul of a sports car in everything we make.
The most important part in punting the ball is the drop. And watch right here, when Toby Goen drops it, the nose dips down. He's not getting a level drop. This is an area that has really driven Coach Parcells crazy with the field position and the struggles in the punting game. The philosophy he likes to play, he's unable to do right now.
He hasn't had a good punting performance in 6 weeks. And 1st down, Cartwright breaks a couple of tackles and gets to the 41-yard line. Well, we haven't shown you the Washington Redskins offense yet, with Tim Hasselbeck making his 3rd career start, coming off the win over the Giants.
And we've got 3 new guys here: Lenny Friedman, Derek Dockery, and Brandon Whining, not playing a lot together this season.
And Cartwright starting at running back with trunk candidate Liddell Betts. And Morton is able to play, but hasn't yet from the backfield. And once again, Rock Cartwright close to the 1st down, and Dexter Coakley making the tackle for the Cowboys. Cowboy defense. And Eric Obagu gets the start again. Ebenezer Ekubon was on inactive last week and was vocal in his protest over that. And the linebackers with Coakley, Datwin, and Al Singleton.
Roy Williams said his team has got to relax and just play. Missed a lot of tackles last week against the Philadelphia Eagles.
3rd down and 1. They keep it on the ground and not making it because of Roy Williams, the man you just mentioned, coming up and forcing the play, and a loss of 1 on the play. And right now, for another game break, let's go to Los Angeles and pick up JB.
All right, Dick, take a look at Green Bay getting on the scoreboard. Brett Favre heading off to Amon Green. Green up the middle. Tough run, 7-3 at Green Bay. Josh McCown at quarterback for Arizona. Ill-advised throw, picked off by Mike Minter, the longest tenured Panther. He takes it back for the score. 7-0 Carolina, back to Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, and punting is Barker, and the fair catch called by Zuriel Smith at the 22-yard line. So the Cowboys holding the Redskins at bay early on.
Donovan McNabb and his mom are
total access.
When Bill Parcells told us last night, if we don't win, we won't make it, he meant it, but he said if we win, we'll make it somehow. Cowboys know they need 2 victories to wrap up a playoff berth. At 10-6, they will be at home at Texas Stadium next week against the New York Giants. But they know this is the pivotal one. So just a tick under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Hambrick goes in motion from the 22-yard line. Cowboys in front 7-0. And this pass is caught shy of the 30-yard line, and now incomplete as the official came in and saw that Galloway did not make the catch. Joey Galloway could not hold on.
You see right here Joey Galloway going down for the catch. Never really has possession. As it goes down, you can see it right there. It hits the ground. Bill Parcells will learn a lot about his team this afternoon. On the road, against a division rival with a lot to play on, the playoff berth at stake, a lot to play for. He doesn't really know what this group is yet. So this is going to be a huge day for him to find out a lot about this team.
Second and 10, Hambrick gets a couple of yards. In fact, Parcells told us, he says, you know, I was out of the game 2 years, and I lost track of the players and who could play. And he says, I had to trust people to tell me what they thought, and he says, now I know. And he says, I've made judgments about people that I will react on after the year. And you can see where the Cowboys have struggled on the road, and they're trying to reverse it today and win their 9th game of the season.
And the big thing there, they're not scoring, and then the turnover margin has been the big problem. A lot of that, those impulse throws of Quincy Carter, but that's why this game is so important. The division rival, but also on the road. That's where you make your statement when you win the tough games on the road.
Bruce Smith comes in at defensive end, and 3rd down and 8. Carter being chased, and unable to hold on to that low pass was Richie Anderson. And Rashad Bauman putting the pressure and chasing Quincy Carter, so the Redskins will force the Cowboys to kick it away.
And the Redskins have continued to play very hard this season throughout. They started off with a great jump at the beginning of the season, but since that point, they've run into some mid-season struggles. They haven't been able to finish games, but you watch them on film. They never give up. They played hard all the way through the season. The Dallas Cowboys have to be very careful about the Redskins this afternoon.
Toby Goen will be kicking, and Chad Morton at the 35-yard line, his own 35. And again, a line drive and returnable kick, and Morton bobbles the ball, and the Cowboys may have it. Came out of Morton's hands, and the Dallas Cowboys pick it up. It's Pete Hunter. Came right into his hands after Chad Morton muffed the punt. Big break for Dallas, already in front.
Pete Hunter does a good job on the outside, getting his release, continuing to work downfield, just in case a situation like this happens. He's the first guy on the spot right there to pick up that muff by Chad Morton. Chad looks as though he does everything right. He looks the ball all the way in, but he uses his hands. He doesn't let the ball come into his body to secure the catch. Kind of got his hands extended a little bit, bounced right off of him.
And his face mask got in the way as well, so shaking his head in the rain is Steve Spurrier, giving the Cowboys another opportunity here on the Redskin 41. And here's Hambrick, and goes inside the 40 for a pickup of 2. LeVar Arrington making the tackle on Hambrick. Arrington this week decided to reject the contract extension, although those talks are not finished yet. He's one of the key performers on the Redskin defense that they would lock up.
Yeah, he and Champ Bailey both, the possibility to extend contracts during the season, rejected the offers as something that they will have to carry into the offseason, but we'll see what happens there. I think both of them would like to test that free agent market when the season's over.
Double tight end formation for Dallas, 2nd down and 8, and play action, and stepping up. No receivers, and going down was Quincy Carter. Jeremiah Trotter was not there, and there was an example that Carter did not make that impulsive throw and took the sack for a loss of 1. Could not throw it away.
Well, up until this point, he has done a good job with that, and we're going to see right here. The reason is he doesn't have anybody to go to the ball with. You've got your 2 receivers up at the top of the screen going down, but look at all the Redskins dropping back in coverage. They played this pretty well. They knew what was coming in anticipation. They've got everybody covered. It's 2-on-1 everywhere. Quincy Carter just pulls the ball down, tries to make something happen. That is going to be the next step in the progression that he has to make. He has to do that on a consistent basis.
Play clock running down, and he doesn't get it off in time. And there'll be a 5-yard delay of the game penalty called against the Cowboys. Referee is Bernie Kukar, and 3rd down and 14 will be the situation.
Mistakes that are within the Cowboys' control. They cannot have these types of things. They are like a lot of teams in the NFL. The talent level isn't there quite yet for them to overcome their mistakes. There's a very small margin of error. They cannot have the turnovers and the careless penalties, things that are within their control if they're going to accomplish what everybody expects them to in the month of December.
So it's 3rd and 14. Back on the Washington 45. And Carter stepping up, and he finds an open receiver, Richie Anderson, and Anderson goes out of bounds. And still about 1.5 yards short of the 1st down. Fred Smoot making a good play, preventing Anderson from getting to the sticks.
Looks like they're going to move him back actually a little bit farther, say that Richie Anderson went out of bounds before that. I think if they were going to do that original spot, that Bill Parcells probably would have elected to go for it. This is going to be a difficult decision right here. You need to get your points early in the game on a day like this because conditions will deteriorate as we move on. Looks like he's going to roll the dice right here.
4th down and 3, and you always have to look for the quick count to force the Redskins to jump. And finally, after much delay, the Cowboys call a timeout. So each team has called a timeout with 31 seconds left in the 1st quarter, with the Cowboys in front 7-0.
Of all the innovation.
Back here on a rainy day in Landover, Maryland, the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins in their long-time rivalry. The Cowboys have won 11 of the last 12, including their triumph 6 weeks ago, 21-14. And that was a game in which the Cowboys turned it over 4 times. The 2 touchdowns called back could have been much worse, Bruce.
Well, you know, you take away the 2 touchdowns that were called back, and you can say, yeah, Dallas was on a roll that day, but also don't forget about those turnovers. I think it came out a tight game the way it should be with all the mistakes that happened.
Well, they're going for it on 4th down and 3 from the 34. And there is Carter on a design rollout, and the pass incomplete. And it goes over to the Redskins, and it was Jason Witten, the rookie tight end, who was the receiver that Carter wanted to go to, and Washington will get the ball.
Well, you're on the hash. You're rolling to the short side of the field. You've got a number of players over that way. James Witt right there, or Jason Witten right there, can't make the catch, but Quincy's got to get out and press that corner a little bit more, but it's on the hash. You're moving it to the short side of the field. I don't like those types of plays. Stay in the middle of the field. Allow your receivers to work the entire width of the football field.
So 1st down as the Redskins get the ball on downs from the 34-yard line. Less than a half a minute remaining in the 1st quarter. They hand off to Cartwright. Cartwright with a first down to the 47-yard line. That's a 13-yard pickup. Singleton and Woodson making the tackle, and that may be the last play of the 1st quarter. And if it is, it will end on a high note for the Washington Redskins, who have lost to so many close games this year and trying to get the victory. And that will do it. That is the end of the 1st quarter with the score. The Dallas Cowboys 7, the Washington Redskins nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages.
24 at 9/8 Central, Fox Tuesday.
Tim Hasselbeck on the left and Quincy Carter, who threw a screen pass to Richie Anderson, who scampered 21 yards for the only score of the game on the Cowboys' first possession. Now the Redskins start the second quarter with a first down on their 47. And there's a penalty, a false start call against the Redskins.
Ball start, 87 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
The Redskins in a similar situation as the Cowboys. You can't overcome these silly mistakes. A wide receiver on the outside, jumping the count. Inexcusable.
Rod Gardner, who kind of reemerged in the Redskin passing game last week against the Giants, and has the ability to throw pretty well too. He threw a touchdown pass earlier this year. First down and 15, and on the delay here is Cartwright, and Cartwright getting close to the 50, picking up 6 yards. Rock Cartwright, who was the last draft pick 2 years ago, at only 5'7", and was a walk-on in college at Kansas State, and is one of those dogged running backs who can block and can carry, and you can see how sturdy Rock Cartwright is. He's rock solid in it.
Well, he does a little bit of everything. We mentioned the fact that he got his start on special teams, but not covering kicks, actually returning kicks. So he has the speed to break away and make big plays, but he's also very physical in between the tackles.
Second down and 9 as the rain gets a little harder out here from the 48 of Washington. And Hasselbeck stepping up, gets hit as he throws, and it's a free ball out there. Flag goes down. Darren Woodson on the interception, and no Redskin receiver anywhere in town, and he picks it off, but a flag was thrown from downfield. Will go against the Cowboys.
Illegal contact. The linebacker on defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So the 5-yard penalty, you can tell that the Cowboys weren't very elated after making that interception, Darrell. They kind of knew.
Yeah, everybody kind of just shut it down. They knew that one was going to come back. He called it on the linebacker. It looks as though it's Dexter Coakley right out here with the contact beyond 5 yards. And you saw the ball go up in the air over the top. That's what Steve Spurrier wants to do. In that first meeting, Dallas brought a lot of max blitz. Sometimes you saw 9-10 defenders in the box. The one thing he's going to do, if he gets that look today, is go over the top. He's not going to adjust hot routes out in the flat.
First down on the 47 of the Cowboys. Again, Coles goes in motion. Dallas showing blitz and then pulling back. And they go to Cartwright, who spins his way inside the 45-yard line for a gain of 3. Pat Wynn, Dallas's middle linebacker, making the tackle. So second down coming up.
Dat Wynn has quietly had a very good year for the Dallas Cowboys on defense. You see him right here. He's mirroring Rock Cartwright step for step, fills the hole and comes up and finishes the play. The one thing he is doing this season that he did not do on a regular basis last year is finish the play and get the ball carrier to the ground.
Second and 7 on the 44 of the Cowboys, who lead 7-0. And this time Hasselbeck going deep down the sideline to Gardner, and it's broken up. And coming over was Roy Williams to make the play. And Williams slow getting up over on the sideline. That's only the third pass attempt made today by Hasselbeck. He's completed 1.
But we've seen 2 of them go deep down the field. And last week, the wide receivers for the Washington Redskins did a great job of finishing plays like that on the outside. Some of the throws by Tim Hasselbeck, not that great, but his receivers did a great job going up and battling for the ball. Roy Williams comes across. Looks like he kind of catches a leg whip up in that thigh area.
And it floated there for Gardner. Enough time for Williams to get there. So 3rd and 7. And Tim Hasselbeck out of the shotgun, and they were going to do this against the blitz. Whatever it is, it was picked up, and this pass in traffic, incomplete. And Darnarian McCants, the intended receiver, but the Cowboys played it well downfield.
The one thing that they want to make sure they do not allow Tim Hasselbeck to do is to step up in the pocket. When they played the first time, Patrick Ramsey was the quarterback, and he will move laterally. But Tim Hasselbeck likes to step up in the pocket, the one thing they have to do is make sure those big defensive tackles collapse that area and not allow any room for Tim Hasselbeck to step up.
And Woodson and the rookie Terrence Newman were back there to handle the play. So on 4th down, Brian Barker again kicking it off and letting it drop is Zuriel Smith, and it takes a Redskin roll and will be down just about at the 10-yard line. So that first touchdown of the game holding up right now for the Cowboys. We're still early, however, in the second.
Sundays brought to you by the new Chevy Malibu. Your private Malibu showing starts at ChevyMalibu.com. By Wachovia, together we can achieve uncommon things. By Subway, good so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh. And by the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Own it on DVD or rent it on video.
Back here as the Cowboys lead the Redskins, the worst starting field position of the game thus far for the Cowboys, the 15. 3 times they have gone 3 and out since that touchdown on the opening drive. And here is Carter trying to get out of trouble, and the pass incomplete going for Glenn. Hey, Tony, what do you got down there?
What do I got? I got the chills, I got a fever, I got pneumonia. What do you got?
I got nothing.
You got a nice hat, though.
I mean, it's a great game, you know, but I'm trying to keep warm down here. I mean, you know, watching the offensive and defensive linemen, I think both offensive linemen on both teams are doing a great job of just going and latching on to the defensive linemen. You can't cut out here. It's sort of a man's game. I'm watching it. It's a fun game to watch, though. It's 9-on-7. Everything's happening inside. Now let's see what's happening.
You got enough meat to keep you warm. Come on.
Okay, wise guy. Not too far away.
2nd and 10, being chased is Carter, and the pass is incomplete downfield, and good pressure put on that time by the Washington Redskins. Martin Chase in particular making Carter scurry out of the pocket.
That right there is one of those impulse throws that Coach Parcells is talking about. He gets it to avoid in the defensive secondary where there's nobody around, but backpedaling out of the pocket with the pocket collapsing on him, throwing off the back foot, drifting backwards. You know that Coach Parcells was, let's see where this one's going to land.
There you see, has been sacked twice already, has Carter, has had to hurry. 3rd and 10, still on the 15 of the Cowboys. In the heavy rain here, Carter getting time, looking for help, and the pass up to the 30-yard line is caught. And that's Terry Glenn making a diving catch, 16-yard pickup. Fred Smoot indicating that maybe he trapped it. Right now, it's a completed pass.
We'll watch the end of the play right here. Here comes Terry Glenn in to make the catch. He does not have that ball. It goes to the turf. We'll see if Steve Spurrier gets that red flag out. He's got guys on his sideline encouraging him to throw it out there.
He's going to do it right now. They're trying to signal, and finally they do. I've never seen a bunch of coaches jumping up and down and scurrying along a sideline more than I did right now when the Redskins were trying to say, throw that red thing. Who has it?
Guys, it was hysterical down here watching both sidelines. Bill Parcells was yelling, snap the ball, snap the ball.
Challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
And I think they're going to win that challenge.
You watch the Washington sideline. They're trying to find out who's got that red flag. Look, it's going to come from the back right here from behind Steve Spurrier. There it goes.
Oh, there it goes. Wait, but normally the head coach holds on to it, Darryl. I mean, he had a special assistant. We have his name, Jamie Spironis. We're going to get the ruling from Bernie Kukar right here.
Receiver did not have possession of the football. The ball's on the run. Incomplete pass. 4th down.
This was obvious.
Yeah, it's an easy one right there. It goes right through the hands, down to the ground. He never had possession when he landed. But Bill Parcells is on the one side telling the offense to get up there, snap the play so they can't review it. The Washington Redskins are trying to find the guy with the red flag.
And, of course, they could call a timeout.
They could. But the guy with the red flag's got to be up in the front of the sideline.
Well, there's Chad Morton. Last time he was back, he muffed the kick. And fortunately, the Redskins were not burned by that. mistake by Morton. As you can see, the rain, and it's he said the wind is really carrying it in a horizontal fashion. The wind going from right to left on your radio dial, and
you can see he's having trouble right there looking straight ahead. Now wait till that ball is coming down and he's got to look up into this mist. It's going to totally affect his vision.
Toby Goen has the wind at his back. In a day like this, every play can be fascinating. Good kick by Toby Goen, and the fair catch by Morton at the 42-yard line. Remains 7-0 Dallas. The Redskins have pretty good field position. Saturday, it's a Fox NFL special beginning with America's favorite pregame show as JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy get you ready for kickoff, and then Michael Vick leads the Falcons against Warren Sapp and the Buccaneers in a showdown between bitter, and I mean bitter, NFC South rivals. Coverage begins Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. The biggest stories are in the NFC, and you know where the NFC is. On Fox? Yes. Good cue. 1st and 10 at the 42. Chad Morton is in the game at running back and gets a call and gets a good run up the middle, getting 6 on 1st down. It's been a game of a stalling offense boost for the Washington Redskins, and there you see what they've done. Eventually, they've had the punt the 3 previous times.
They have not been able to get anything going on a consistent basis. At times, Cartwright has ripped off a couple of nice runs. Now they've got Chad Morton in there, but nothing is gelling for them right now on the offensive side of the ball.
They're on their own 47-yard line, and Morton gets the ball, finds an opening, and it closes in a hurry. Maybe a yard-and-a-half pickup. Dexter Copley making the tackle after a pickup of 2. We had snow overnight, rain this morning, and then a drizzle, and it's not drizzling anymore. It's coming down pretty hard.
No, and the rain was supposed to increase in intensity as the afternoon progressed. So, you know, we talked about it in the beginning. It's going to be important to have success early in this game because this field will continue to deteriorate. And right now, with the Redskins not being able to get anything going, they're behind the 8 ball on that one.
How does it taste, the rain? 3rd and 2 at midfield, and on a pass play, the pass out to the fullback Brian Johnson, incomplete, and it would have been very close to a 1st down in any event had he made the catch. So 4th down coming up, and once again it ends in a punt for the Redskins.
Brian Johnson getting that one hand out there trying to bring it back in, but he can't get it. We're seeing a lot of passes go to the ground, and surprised to see Steve Spurrier not going with that formula that was successful last week against the Giants in similar inclement conditions. He really pounded the ball, 48 runs, the most he's ever called in his tenure as the Redskins coach.
Well, looking at that rain, you know, something is going to happen at some point in this game because of the wet ball. That's going to be weird. Brian Parker is going to pass, and the pass is caught for the 1st down to Ifeanyi Olete. So, no, by weird, I thought there'd be a strange turnover, but Brian Barker tosses to the defensive back Olete, and a 1st down for the Redskins.
There's Ifeanyi Olete. He sets out to block, and then he releases. Pete Hunter does a good job, but he thinks he's going downfield, so he goes to cut him off. Ifeanyi Olete's going to the flat. Steve Spurrier is breaking out some of the gadgets. He's got some things in his bag today, but he did not mention anything on special teams to us.
No, he told us that we're going to have some things you've seen before. Never saw that one. 1st down on the 47 as the crowd gets a rise out of that trick play. It only gained 3 yards, but it got the 1st down, and there's nothing tricky about this. And a penalty.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
One of the big things on a fake punt, you've got to be able to sell it as the punter. Watch right here. Brian Barker is never going to tip him off that he's looking outside for the fake punt. He even drops his eyes down as he goes to go through his drop. That's a great job of selling that fake by Brian Barker.
Well, right now, Brian Barker has as many completions as Tim Hasselbeck. They both have 1. 1st and 15 on the 48 on the ground to Cartwright, and Cartwright getting it back to the line of scrimmage before the foul, and 6 yards with that win making the play.
The frustrating thing for Bill Parcells on that play is on that part of the field, you usually have your safe punt team out there. You leave your defensive line, and that's an area where you're really looking for the fake punt, because if it does go wrong, you're still right near midfield. You haven't given up a big chunk of field position.
Now look at the Redskins. They ran 48 times against the Giants. They're 2-to-1 runs today. And of course the weather affecting last week, also a factor this week. But the pass here is caught inside the 40-yard line by Rod Gardner. It's Gardner's first reception of the day, and he gets 6 yards. And 3rd down and short coming up for the Redskins.
It's amazing how a play like that will all of a sudden jumpstart an offense. We go back and look last week there, the Giants 48 runs. Now the rushing attempts on all those sides, they've won all those games. You go to the other side, you see the passing attempts during Steve Spurrier's career. They've lost all of those games. Some things are dictated by the flow of the game or the weather, but they have been very successful running the ball.
As Rock Cartwright is here, getting the first down. Rock Cartwright with a 10-yard pickup. And I tell you, they're not losing anything by having him start with the loss of trunk candidate. Liddell Betts unable to play. He's had a fractured forearm. That was aggravated. A 10-yard pickup and a good block, by the way, by the tight end, Zeron Flemister, to free him.
John Jansen also downfield finishing up on that run. And the good thing when you go running back by committee, like Washington has done this year, when you get into that injury situation, the guy who's filling in has had a lot of snaps. And we were here for the Seattle game when Rock Cartwright had a nice job as the starting tailback that day.
First down on the Reds or the Cowboy 29. And Hasselbeck with the short drop doesn't see anyone, and he'll take off and go out of bounds. So he picks up 3 yards. Tim Hasselbeck, who was once a ball boy for Bill Parcells when Hasselbeck was a 16-year-old youngster, and Parcells was the head coach of the New England Patriots. And of course Parcells was an assistant when he coached Hasselbeck's father, Don Hasselbeck, who was a tight end with the Patriots. And Parcells telling us yesterday that Hasselbeck was really the role model for Mark Bavaro, the great tight end of the New York Giants, whom Parcells coached as well. 2nd down and 8 on the 27. Pass to Coles, and not a good one, and it's intercepted by Terrence Newman. So Tim Hasselbeck makes a bad throw, trying to get it to Coles, and getting the inside move was Newman, who intercepts his 2nd of the year.
Okay, let me just make sure I have this. I will fire grill it over.
Working on the left tackle, Brandon Winey, who has played well in place of Chris Samuels, the normal starter, who's out with a sprained knee. So we'll see who comes out for the Redskins the next time they have the ball. Meanwhile, following Newman's interception, the Cowboys trying to get something going again. It's been a long time. 7-yard line, and Troy Hambrick with a good run, getting nearly 9 on the first down. Bruce Smith making the tackle. Cowboys do not have a first down since their touchdown on the opening drive, and they hadn't had many interceptions in the last few games as well.
No, that's been one of the big areas when you see Dallas losing 3 out of their last 4. The one thing they have not done is taken the ball away. The offense has turned the ball over. The defense has not been able to get to the point where you can break even with their takeaways. So far today, though, Dallas is doing a good job in the turnover ratio.
We may have a game break coming up. 2nd down and 1, and diving forward is Hambrick for the first down, and just as I predicted, we have a game break. So let's go out to L.A. and James Brennan.
Hey, Dick, but who would have predicted this? Carolina can clinch the division with the win, but take a look. Emmitt Smith with only his 2nd touchdown of the season, that a 4-yard run, and it's Arizona on top of Carolina, 14-7. Carolina has lost 3 straight back to Dick Stockton.
Well, good to see that. Emmitt has had a tough year. He had the injury early in the game against Dallas this season, has come back in. Not the type of season he was hoping for when he went to Arizona.
First down from the 20, and the pass is batted down, and that's LeVar Arrington, who came storming up, made the jump, and knocked the pass down. Incomplete. You know, you're looking at Carolina stumbling, Minnesota, Seattle, all of those teams really going down the chute in the final weeks, it seems.
And that's why this is so important for the Dallas Cowboys today. You know, for that wild card berth, maybe get a home playoff game. LeVar Arrington, one of the most athletic guys in the NFL, playing the linebacker position. And that guy is playing with a lot of injuries right now. We saw him in practice on Friday. He looked like he was about 45 years old walking around in that damp air.
Look 56, which matches his number. Not really. Carter, by the way, 4 for 13 for 54 yards and a touchdown. Second down and 10. And the run to Richie Anderson. And Anderson doesn't get much either. So third and long will be ensuing for the Dallas Cowboys as Arrington again in on the play with Jesse Armstead.
LeVar Arrington now putting his hand down, working on the outside. You see him come down the line right there. That shows you the athletic ability, the speed to beat the tackle up the field, and then the ability to change direction and work right down the line of scrimmage to make the hit on the running back.
And the rain not falling as hard as it did about 10 minutes ago, but still there's a drizzle. Third and 10. From the 21. And Carter's pass is caught, but the tackle is made, and a big one. Terry Glenn makes the play. Rashad Bauman on the tackle. 5-yard pickup, and that's exactly what the Redskins wanted. They could get good field position as Glenn is slow getting up from the grass.
Well, that was a very good defensive series for the Washington Redskins. Had some pressure on several of those plays, and right now, Terry Glenn, one of the guys that really extends the drive. He's really had a great season for the Dallas Cowboys. The wide receivers, their production has slowed down. But the guy who was able to move the chains has been Terry Glenn throughout the course of the year. You see right there, he kind of gets rolled up, gets that left leg tucked in behind him. Rashad Bauman, number 25, coming up to make the tackle.
And Glenn walking off the field. It's been very tough. Everyone would like to see Bill Parcells air it out a lot more. He's been very conservative, but for good reason, because the running game hadn't been there. There have been a lot of penalties committed by the offensive end. And, of course, question mark and Quincy Carter and some of the moves he's made. So, you know, today he said, well, if the elements are all right, I'd like to be aggressive. So,
well, we've seen a little bit of it, but, you know, after that first series, I think he's going to play now. He's got to lead. He's going to change his philosophy as the game goes on. The one thing that he will always be consistent with is trying to shorten the game down with his running attack.
Chad Morton is back deep, and Toby Goen will kick from inside the 15-yard line, and he gets off another good high kick in this weather, and the ball bounces and will go out of bounds. So Toby Goen, who had a 43-yard kick the last time, this one with the bounce, 56 yards. Pretty good for a kicker who has had problems.
Honey, look.
Coming this February, Feel the Rush as NASCAR returns to Fox for 17 weeks of high-speed thrills and excitement. Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Matt Kenseth lead the world's best drivers when NASCAR returns to Fox this February. Well, that opening drive touchdown, the only scoring, and the weather seems a little better than it has been, and as the Redskins start from the 20-yard line.
Dick, I love how you keep commenting on the weather. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's getting a lot better.
How's it down there, Captain? First and 20. I think it's better. Hand off to Rock Cartwright. So it's running the ball most of the time for the Redskins. 5-yard pickup. Roy Williams, the tackle.
Good to see Terry Glenn walking around right there. You saw that leg get tucked in behind him on the previous play, but here comes number 31, Roy Williams. We talked about Rock being a big physical runner. He is coming in and just throwing his body at everybody, and he is getting banged up. Right now, he is not 100% when you're talking about health, and you have to weigh that balance. You have to pick your shots, but Roy's learning a hard lesson this year.
And Rock Cartwright learns a lesson as he gets spun down right at the 30 by Darren Woodson. Even on one leg, Roy Williams does a tremendous job.
He's such a great athlete, and I really feel when it's all said and done, you know, he'll be mentioned with some of the greats to play that position. And, you know, he's got a great guy to learn from right there, number 28, Darren Woodson. You know, that is the big thing for Roy Williams. You know, listen to what he says. Watch how he prepares, not only during the season and during the week, but in the offseason to take care of his body.
Third down and 1 on the 29-yard line, and they're going to try to run to get it, and they do, as Rock Cartwright dives forward. Cartwright is a workhorse here in the first half as he picks up enough for the first down. He's gained 64 yards on 12 carries and has been the workhorse today for the Redskins. Hey, you look at the Redskins, Darrell, and of course they're 5-8, but they have a loss by 3, by 2 points, by 3, by 1, by 4. Lost to Dallas by 7, blown out twice.
And the big thing, you know, it lost a lot of games in the fourth quarter. New Orleans, Carolina, Miami, they'll have those games with the lead in the fourth quarter and couldn't finish.
Trying to get the screen up the middle to Cartwright after the pressure was put on by Leroy Glover.
I just don't understand what I see here with the Washington Redskins guys. They had 3 plays. They ran it straight up the gut, smash mouth football. They got 11 yards. Then all of a sudden they get a first down, and now they want to air it out. Keep pounding. The only way you're going to get to these Cowboys is to let them respect you. They only have 7 men in the box right now. Until they put 8 in the box, keep smashing out football.
You see right there Leroy Glover taking Randy Thomas back, and that goes to Randy's advantage if they're pounding the ball. That is what Steve Spurrier has struggled with all season and since he is elevated to the NFL level.
Flag is down, and the pass intended for Rod Gardner downfield, and we're going to have an offensive pass interference call against the Redskins. Pushing off, and here's Bernie Kukar. And it's on Rod Gardner.
Wide receivers at the top of the route will always give a little bit of a shove to try and create separation, a move that was perfected by an old Dallas Cowboy, Michael Irvin. But you see right there, you got to be subtle with it. A little bit of a shove at the top of the route, trying to gain that separation. A little touchy there. Terrence Newman, you know, he didn't separate that far from him. So called a little tight there by the officials. We've seen worse than that during the course of the game.
So the ball set back after the penalty to the 21-yard line. So the Redskins shut out right now, 7-0. Darnerian McCants lines up as the 3rd wide receiver. And the handoff after the fake pass to Cartwright, and not a bad call as Cartwright going up the middle for 8 yards, and Dexter Coakley making the tackle on Cartwright.
Well, you watch Tim Hasselbeck. He comes out, fakes that quick screen out to the right side, hands it off to Rock Cartwright. Watch how well he protects the ball here. You know that the conditions are starting to deteriorate. Right when he gets into the contact zone, there goes the 2 hands. A nice job of holding on to that ball as one of the Dallas defenders comes in to slap it out.
He likes the whirling dervish style, doesn't he?
He's like the Tasmanian devil going through there. He's just spinning, twisting.
3rd and 12 on the 29. So Cowboys playing this as a pass. Oh, picked off by Newman. Terrence Newman trying to get on the edge on the outside. Newman still on his feet inside the 10-yard line. His 2nd interception of the game, and the Cowboys will have first down and goal. A return of 25 yards by the rookie Terrence Newman, picking off Tim Hasselbeck's pass for the 2nd time in this first half.
This one just sails a little bit on Tim Hasselbeck. He's throwing it into the middle of the field, an area where you have to be very careful. You've got to be accurate at this point. He's going to Rock Cartwright. It sails over his head. Terrence Newman is coming up to make the play. And the one thing that Dallas has really struggled the last few weeks, taking the ball away, creating those turnovers, they have done a great job in this first half.
Darrell, I know you're trying to be nice, but every pass that he's thrown has sailed over somebody's head.
Yeah, he's been short on the deep balls. He has really battled with his accuracy at this point. Looks like he's really struggling with the conditions or the wet ball.
First and goal from the 9, and there's the pass, and thrown behind Jamar Martin, the fullback, and Jesse Armstead very nearly got a hand on that. Well, Goose, you can't like that pass either, I'm sure.
I don't know if these coaches are trying to outsmart each other or what. It's amazing with the weather and the field way it is that they're trying to play finesse football. This is smash mouth football. This is 2 teams that hate each other. Run it down their throat, force them into a situation where they have to stop you. I mean, neither coach is doing that right now, and it's aggravating.
And Parcells is a smash mouth coach. 2nd and goal. With 2:02 to go, 2-minute warning coming up. Hambrick driving inside the 5.
Hooray, hooray, hooray.
Lionel Dalton on the tackle. And a cheer from Mr. Siragusa. 6-yard pickup, 2-minute warning here as the Cowboys lead and threaten. Fitting we're in the nation's capital, Darrell, and certainly all Americans want to recognize and thank our armed forces and our intelligence services on this historic day.
It's been a great day for Americans here, and very appreciative for the focus and the commitment that the administration and everybody in the military has made.
Yeah, kind of feel it in this town, and you know, where we are right outside of the Pentagon, and a lot of the great symbols of this country, that this day carries a special meaning.
It sure does.
2-minute warning, and 3rd and goal coming up for the Cowboys. They're on the 3-yard line.
Shotgun Tony excited,
and he's going to carry a single wing football, and Quincy Carter high steps in for the touchdown.
I got a little nervous there when I didn't see no backs in the backfield. At least they ran it in.
It was a good design because they go to the shotgun, they get all the wide receivers out to the right side. You get that defense's attention. Everybody's going to be looking out to the right. You've got a triple set, and then they do the run back to the left side. They get the corner sealed. Nice jobs out on the perimeter with the blocks. Flozell Adams and Larry Allen doing a nice job sealing everything.
That's just a red flag for a quarterback draw there with the empty backfield, and I was surprised that he went around the outside.
3-yard touchdown run by Carter. So he has thrown one and he has run for one, and Billy Condon trying to give the Cowboys a 14-0 lead. Bill Parcells with a lead is very tough at halftime. But we still have more time to go, so all this has to be a big confidence booster. Carter with his 2nd touchdown rushing.
Thus does fear manifest.
The new Braun Free Glider automatically dispenses a protective shaving conditioner.
Here's your receivers right here, and then what they're going to do, they're also going to motion this way. You draw all the defense's attention that way. Good blocks. You get Flozell Adams pulling around on the corner, and as Tony said, you're thinking quarterback draw, but all of a sudden the quarterback breaks contain. There's nobody outside. Good blocks by Jason Witten and Flozell Adams on the outside.
The scoring drive moose, and of course, reminds you the single wing, you know, with Byron Whizzer White, who was also a Supreme Court justice. I shouldn't say also, that'd be #1 in his resume, I would think, as Chad Morton returns from the 6-yard line, and the Cowboys special teams are there. And so we'll see what the Redskins do with 1:47 remaining in the half. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league. A lot of exciting games played earlier in the day. And the Fox Sports ticker has up to the second scores and stats. And we'll also have a news update on the situation in Iraq. That's all coming up at halftime.
And I think Bill Parcells is going to be very happy at halftime. Obviously, he's leading 14-0, but more than that, the areas that they have really struggled in over the last month, the defense is taking the ball away this afternoon. They've got a turnover on special teams. But one of the important things, Toby Goen has punted the ball well. And when he plays that field position philosophy, the punting game becomes very important.
On first down, the run with Cartwright getting a couple of yards, and Leonardo Carson making the tackle. By the way, Brandon Winey, who was injured, has returned to the left tackle position. And the Cowboys have not lost this season in games that they have scored following a turnover. So this bodes well for the men with the star in their helmet. In the pass downfield, caught by Zeron Flemister, and a fumble. Dallas has it. The Cowboys recover the fumble by Flemister, and Bill Parcells getting the advantage of the turnovers today following the 17-yard pass, and it was Darren Woodson who recovers the ball.
Zeron Flemister battling the catch the whole time, does a good job to secure it. Dat Wynn comes in right as he's spun around by Roy Williams. Watch this, the bobble, then he gets it down. He actually gets it secured with 2 hands. Roy Williams is going to spin him right there. Now watch Dat Wynn come in, puts his helmet right on the ball and knocks it loose. You never know why they come in the flurry the way they do, but a team that has struggled to generate turnovers in the first half has 4.
And there you see in the first 14 weeks, a -6 today, a +4. So the Cowboys winning the turnover battle, and big, and normally that means you'll win the game. Richie Anderson, and nothing doing, no gain on the play. Steve Spurrier seeing his team turn it over. What did Bill Parcells take? All you have to do. Last night he told us, you look at the turnover table, if you're a +1, he said, you're going to win 80% of the time. So he's very cognizant of what those turnovers mean.
they just totally take the game and shift it in the advantage of the team that is doing it. And when you're talking about +4 in one half, it's virtually impossible for the other team to even be in the middle of the game at that point.
Second down and 10 on the Redskin 41. And here is Carter, swings it out to Richie Anderson. And the leading receiver coming into the game for the Cowboys is stopped at the 34 after a 4-yard pickup by Bailey and Arrington. 35 seconds remain in the first half as Dallas calls a timeout. Back here with the Cowboys leading 14-0 and trying to get more points after yet another turnover. And I don't know whether the theory for Bill Parcells will try to see if he can get 6 or maybe get 3 before intermission. Ball is on the 35. Third down and 4. He'll run the ball to Troy Hambrick. And Hambrick stopped short of the first down by Jeremiah Trotter. Right now they're on the 32-yard line, maybe the 31, with 4th down and 1 coming up. So a decision time for the Cowboys head coach. And what a job he has done in the first year, taking a 5-11 team, 8-5. He said, you know, guys, despite our losses, if we had been 8-5, he said that before the season, we'd have a conga line here. And, you know, they're right.
And that's been the big thing. The expectations have been raised, not only in the city of Dallas, but for Cowboy fans all across the country.
Cowboys will use a timeout, their last.
See anything?
I know where you live.
2 seconds remaining. Billy Condit will attempt a 50-yard field goal, his longest earlier this year at the Meadowlands. 52 yards, has the wind at his back. And Condit's kick, and a flag is down. So hold the phone. Flag is down. The kick was no good, not even close. And it'll be a holding call against the Cowboys, and that'll do it for the first half, and they'll be very, very pleased with their lead. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Cowboys 14, the Redskins nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
Number